What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here with a review for Black and Crew Chicago. This is, I believe, season 6, episode number 15, titled "Other Side of the Pond." If it's not correct, it'll be correct in the title and in the description bar. But you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into this episode review. All right, you guys. So this episode, it actually opens up. So we see Charmaine. So she and Plug are going to this, this mommy support group. We all know that this is Charmaine's first baby, so she just wants to get as much information as she can about what she's about to deal with when it comes into her, giving birth to baby Nola. So some of the moms, they gave her some advice. They told her about possible ripping of stitches, possibly shitting on herself. When the baby, once the head comes out, that's the worst of it is done. God, I give wow, the things that women go through to give birth to babies. My hat is so off to you ladies. Like, I take my hat off to you ladies, because I just could not imagine going through that situation. God. And then my heart also does go out to Charmaine, because this is her first baby, and the fact that her mom is not there to be, by her side, physically by her side. Because I'm not gonna say her mom wasn't there, but because her mom, I feel like her mom was there spiritually. We just, she just couldn't physically touch her. But I know this has got to be a difficult time, having your first child, and your mom is just not physically there to, talk you through it, hold your hand, just give you encouraging words of, encourage you. So I do know that that has to be difficult for her in this, time. So then we do see Don, Ford, and Ryan. So they are working out, which, if you see them on social media, they always working out. And, they are talking about, the women issues. Ford is over there dating, women. Don and Ashley, I'm going to talk about them in just a minute. But, their situation. And then Ryan and Rachel, their situation, which is confusing as hell as well. But, Ryan says that when it comes down to he and Rachel, that, they're not together, but they are in a good spot with each other. They are trying to work things out to see how things are going to go, but again, they're in a good place with each other. I mean, if that's what I'm not going to delve too deep into Ryan and Rachel, nor am I going to delve too deep into Ford and Ashley. I mean, Don and Ashley. My bad, y'all. Don and Ashley. But let's move on. All right, you guys. So over at Second City Inc., we see that Jess is there. She's walking around. She's, talking to everybody. And, we see Kit. So, Kit is still feeling a little way about Jess being back at the shop. So Kit FaceTimes Charmaine and says, "So Charmaine, you didn't tell me that you were inviting Jess back to the shop." And Charmaine was like, when it came down to it, I literally forgot. I thought I told you, but seeing now, I didn't. But she says, I hope that you two can, peacefully coexist with each other for the time that I'm out of the shop. And, Kit was like, I don't, it is what it is. You brought her in. I mean, she is saying she's this and this and that, but, I can work it out with her. It's not that big of a deal. So we're going to see how things work out with Kit and Jess. So then let's move over to Don. So Don is at Forest Place. He's in his whole Zen mode, yoga mode. And, here's my question that I do have. How long was Don and Ashley separated? Because if you look at social media, those two were together and they're still currently together at this current time. So was it just for a storyline? A lot of this stuff is just like, you look at it and it's like, I'm not saying that the situations between them is fake, but you can see that probably like Big Fish, whoever, they probably, said, let's film it this way. So the way we will actually, however they film it, they still chop and edit things to make it look a certain way to appease the audience. I don't know. But Ashley comes over with the kids, and Ashley is once again telling Don that she wants to take the kids to Texas, where she feels that she has more support. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, Well, at this current time, I would hope she wouldn't want to bring those kids here, because in Texas, our cases are currently increasing. Just keep going up. Thanks to our dumbass governor, Greg Abbott. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Let's move on. All right, then let's talk about back over at Second City Inc. So at Second City Inc., we see Jess. I forgot what that new tattoo artist's name is. Charge it to the head. But Jess is mentoring her, wants to mentor her and some of the other people there, because when Jess was coming up in the game, she didn't really have people to look up to, more specifically a black woman. So she wants to be that for this young lady. And then, there's this guy that comes in there. His name is Steven. He has a British accent, which I couldn't really hear it at first, but then when he started talking a little bit more, I'm like, okay, I do hear that accent. So, Kit asked him, how did he hear about the shop? And she started showing him around. And before, he could even really talk to her, Jess comes over and, this is Jess's friend. And, Jess is telling Kit that, actually, she said, I'm going to show you to your booth. And Kit was like, his booth? She was like, yeah, I hired him. And at this point, I'm actually be on Kit's side, because you hired him. But did you run this by Charmaine? And then, Jess is like, well, Charmaine didn't run it by me. That she hired you. But at the end of the day, Jess, this is not your shop. This is Charmaine's shop. So if Charmaine wanted to hire Kit, if she wanted to hire a homeless person off the street, that's her right, her prerogative, her business. You do not own the business. So whatever. All right. So next, let's move back over to Don and Four. So Don and Four go to see an attorney, and he's talking about his issues with Ashley and the fact that Ashley is telling him that she wants to take the kids to Texas with her. And he's telling him that she's done it once before. She took I think it was the baby. She took him to Texas with her, but she left the oldest with him. And he's just asking what his rights are. So basically, when it comes down to it, is if Ashley does decide that she wants to do that, she would have to prove to the courts the reason why she wants to take the kids to Texas with her. And then the fact that he's a present father in his kids' lives, it doesn't really help her case. It more so would help him in a sense. So yeah. But they would have to do some digging into their past. And I'm like, ooh, they're going to see all that cheating that you've done. Let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So there is one thing that I do want to preface with this episode. It wasn't a big thing in the story episode, but throughout the course of the episode, they showed Charmaine's pregnancy diary. She was just talking about how, she's past 40 weeks. She doesn't want them to induce her. And, I think Charmaine had the fear that a lot of people, pregnant or not, have during this, especially at the beginning stages of the coronavirus situation, hospital visits. No one really wanted to go to the hospital because, you were afraid of being around people that were sick. Because, you think, because hell, even to this day, I still do it. Like, I'd be killing myself. Like, whenever I go out, even though I have my mask on, whenever I go out somewhere, I hate to cough or sneeze because I don't want people looking at me like I got it. Motherfucker, it's allergies. And it's allergies and my sinuses that are fucking with me right about now. I do not have the virus. But yeah. And speaking of her, let's just close her segment out. So she did end up going, her water did break, and Neek took her to the hospital and she called her dad. And then that's basically it for Charmaine. So Jess and Steven. So Steven is going to stay with Jess for, while he's here. And then we found out that he was born in the U.S. I think he said Sacramento. And then about he and his mom, they moved over to London. So when he moved over to London, he let go of his, American accents and picked up the British accent. I know that's terrible. He picked up the British accent, and he's talking about how he hasn't saw his mom in 24 years. And I'm like, wow, that's a long time. And he's telling her how he likes everybody at the shop, and especially Kitty. He really likes Kitty. He feels like he might ask Kitty out. So then let's move over to Don, Ryan, for Rachel and her friend. So Don and Ryan are talking about their women issues. You know, Don is talking about Ashley wanting to take the kids to Texas, and Ryan is talking about his relationship with Rachel. Now on the other side, like I said, Rachel, she was talking about their relationship as well. She said to her friend that she and Ryan can be good one day, but then the next day they might not be talking to each other. And the thing is, she allows social media. I guess the fact that he goes on Instagram and comments on women's pictures bother her because the friend said, "Was it Miss Kit?" She says, "No, it's other women." So but the thing with me and the thing that I'm confused about is, are Rachel and Ryan even in a relationship? Because if you're not in a relationship and you guys are just parenting, why do you care about whose picture he comments on it? It makes very little sense to me. But I mean, hey, that's the baby mama, baby daddy relationship. You guys got to be careful with who you lay down with and have kids with. That's all I'm going to say with that one. And that is going to wrap it up for this review of Black Ink Crew Chicago. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. Also, share this video. And until the next one, you guys do me a solid favor out there. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And stay hydrated. It's hot as fuck outside. Like it's hot as hell outside in Texas right about now. So until the next one, you guys, later.